What is up, everybody? We are back. Speaking of being back, Robert McIntyre gets the job done in Canada to pick up his first PGA Tour win. He's talked about, being more comfortable on this side of the pond this year. Should have played more into that. I wasn't on it myself, but hopefully some of you were. And we've seen a lot of guys, once they get that first Ryder Cup experience, it kind of helps them take that next leap in their career. So big shout out to Bobby Mack. It's exciting to see him play well. And yeah, let's turn our attention to the next 2 weeks. So we have the Memorial Tournament this week. Then we have the U.S. Open. So two of the best tournaments of the year back to back. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can, profit off of these two tournaments. So first of all, we're going to pull up the PGA First Look, which is available at RotoGrinders.com. It's free for everyone, and it's a good starting point for your research. I put this together each week. You get the weather forecast, you get the cut rule, so it's going to be top 50 in ties this week, plus anyone within 10 shots of the lead. There's only 73 golfers in the field, so you're going to see, probably 75+% of the field end up making the cut. Doesn't mean the 6 of 6 is necessarily going to be high, but that's going to depend on how the chalk ends up playing this week. The course, it's Jack's Place, Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio. It is now 7,569 yards, so one of the longer courses on the PGA Tour. It's a par 72. The difficulty since the renovation a few years ago, 5th in 2023, 8th in 2022, and 10th in 2021. So it's definitely played as one of the toughest courses, especially if you take out the majors. This is definitely one of the tougher courses that you're going to see on the PGA Tour. The fairways are tree lined. The rough is extremely thick, expecting 4-inch thick rough. The greens are small. They feature bent grass. There's water in play on 13 holes. So it's really just a tough test of the entire golf bag. You're not going to have any weaknesses if you want to contend. Now, in terms of the 2023 tournament averages, so fairways about 31 yards wide. Driving accuracy only 57%, so these are pretty tough to hit on average. Average driving distance 293 yards. There are a lot of driver holes, but there are some forced layups as well. The average green leg regulation 52%, extremely low, one of the lowest that we've seen all year. So I do think scrambling is going to come into play, as is the case with all Jack Nicklaus designs. It's more of a second shot golf course, and it's going to be firm and fast. So you're going to be good total driver, good with your irons, good scrambler. If I'm taking one of the 4 stroke gain categories and putting less emphasis on it this week, it's going to be putting. The tougher the course, the more important tee to green is going to be. So for me, putting isn't quite as important as the other 3. I'm going to see a nice distribution of approach shots, a lot from 200+ yards, but then a pretty even mix the rest of the way. And yeah, course history has mattered here in the past. So if you want to look at guys that have played well here, I certainly don't mind that. I also don't mind looking at guys that play well on long and difficult courses, guys that play well in strong fields. I think this is going to play like a major. So that's kind of what I am looking at this week. And then obviously, if you scroll down here, you're going to have the course history as well as recent form, odds, salaries, all that fun stuff. So this is free for everyone. Feel free to check it out each week at RotoGrinders.com. If you want to join premium, you get access to my model each week, which you can customize to your own liking. And I'm going to pull that up now. So let's go through my weights for the week. We kind of talked about the course. So I'm focusing more on total driving, but I also did a little bit of weight and on strokes gained off the tee. Pretty big weights to stroke gained approach. As always, the expected column is going to be the heaviest weight for me. This kind of takes a look at where golfers are expected to be hitting their approach shots and then how often they gain strokes in those different buckets. So guys that I expect to gain the most strokes on approach this week based on their expected approach shots: Scheffler, Xander, Corey Connors, Hoagie, Lucas Glover. No surprise with the first 3. And then you have, Hoagie and Glover, probably 2 of my favorite value plays this week. Strokes gained around the green. So I only put it at 5%. You can bump this up if you want. I do think there's going to be a ton of scrambling opportunities this week. As I mentioned, the greens are very small, difficult to hit on average. However, this isn't a course where you're going to have a lot of tricky, tight lies. The rough around the green is extremely thick. So it doesn't take a lot of creativity in terms of, how you're going to be, chipping the ball around here. And we saw Victor Hovland, who, has one of the worst short games on the PGA Tour, win here last year. So I just think it's a different style of scrambling. So I only put it at 5%. Strokes gained putting, 8% total, 2% to bent grass. Birdie or better, bogey avoidance both at 5% for the week. I put course history at 5%. Course fit, I put at 0%. Again, this comes from Data Golf, kind of just shows what statistics they think are important for the course and then looks at, how golfers perform in those specific statistics. So they like Morikawa, Hanley, Brendan Todd, Andrew Putnam, Lucas Glover. Now, all these guys are kind of tend to excel on shorter tracks. So that does worry me a little bit, given the fact that, this is such a long course. But it will be firm and fast, so maybe the shorter hitters do have a chance this week. Strokes gained on long and difficult courses I have at 5%. No surprise to see Scheffler up there. Zalatoris always plays well on these type of courses. Hideki, Henley, and Xander. Guys that play the best on Jack Nicklaus designs. Scheffler number one again. Xander, Lowry, Morikawa, and Cantlay. And then this header is wrong. This is supposed to be strong and limited fields. I'll have this change in the download. So yeah, guys that play the best on these strong and limited fields. Scheffler number one again, Xander, Hovland, Morikawa, and Zalatoris. Now these three have all been over the last 2 years is kind of the time frame that I've looked at for these statistics. The form over the last 10 weeks, and then the actual form that goes into the rating is broken up into 3 different categories. Short term is going to be last 3 months or the last 24 rounds. Midterm, last 50 rounds or the last 6 months. Long term, last 100 rounds or the last 18 months. Let's get to the overall ratings. We'll talk about some of the player pool. I do have notes for every single golfer in the field this week. So if you do want to take a look at those, download the model. Even if you don't want to, customize it, you can, download the model. You can make your adjustments. You can add your own notes if you want. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if you don't, appreciate you watching the video. We'd love to have you be a part of the Discord if you want to hop in there. Maybe we'll cook up a top 20 parlay, top 40 parlay, something this week since there isn't a cut. Oh, there is a cut. I haven't seen any made cut odds yet. But anyway, very top, we have Scotty Scheffler. I'm surprised that the ownership isn't a little bit higher. Maybe that'll come up throughout the week. I was looking at his top 5 odds. They're basically, minus 110, which, if you take out the juice, it gives us a 50% implied odds that he's going to finish in the top 5. He's finished in the top 10 in 10 straight events. He's got, I think, 3 wins and 2 runner-up finishes during that stretch. He missed the playoff here last year by 1 stroke, and he lost 8.5 strokes putting. I mean, come on. If he loses just 6.5, he's going to, run away with that tournament. So for me, it's hard not to play Scheffler, especially if he's not going to be 40 to 50% owned. And he's not as expensive. The price isn't as prohibitive as it has been the last few times he's teed it up. He's been in the $13,000 range. So I love Scheffler. I'm going to be overweight there. Xander coming off of his first major win. I don't know what to do. I mean, he's a great course fit. He's played well here in the past. Doesn't have a weakness in his game. In theory, he should play well, but I would rather just find the extra money to get up to Scheffler. Rory McIlroy has been playing better, picked up the win at the team event, picked up the win. I want to say it was in Texas and then, 4th last week. So he's playing much better. His history here hasn't been incredible, but he does have 3 straight top 20 finishes. We're going to need more than that at this price point, but I do think he's an interesting pivot off of the other 2 up here. The odd man out for me in the 10K range is going to be Hovland. I know he's coming off of a 3rd place finish at the PGA Championship. I know he won here last year. But the form has not been good this year. The short game has been really bad. And prior to his win last year, he had not been good at this course. So I'm just fine, crossing him out this week. Morikawa kind of sets up well for this course. He did win here, but it was at the workday. It was when COVID, they played this course 2 weeks in a row. They kind of used some different pins, made it a little bit easier for the first event. Morikawa ended up winning that one. So he likes the course for sure. The model loves Russell Henley. It's hard not to like him. He's been, he's got 4 top 12 finishes in his last 7 starts. Accurate off the tee, elite iron player. Look at his numbers around the green. They're a lot better than I thought they would be. Top 10, no matter what time frame you're looking at. Pretty good putter too. So T16 here last year. I have a hard time not playing a ton of Henley. I don't think he's going to be single digit owned. I think it'll be 15+%, but I'm not the ownership guru. And then we have Ludwig Aubert, still kind of dealing with the knee injury, coming off of a miscut at the PGA Championship. Hasn't played here before. There's just a lot of reasons not to play him, right? Especially if he's going to be 20% owned. Hideki, I think it's a good setup for Hideki. He's only played 3 times in the last 10 weeks. That is a little bit concerning, but he does have a decent track record around here. Tommy Fleetwood has only played here twice. He's 0 for 2, hasn't played here since 2017, but he's in good form. And yeah, he just seems to play well in these, limited field, strong field type of events. Tigala continues to be tough to predict. On the courses you think he'll play well, misses the cut. Courses that you think he'll struggle at, ends up contending. But the ball striking has been really good this year. It just has been the putter or the around the green that's kind of let him down, and that used to be his biggest strength. So I think there are reasons to play him. Love Alex Noren for the bounce back. Max Homa is kind of flying under the radar this week. Corey Connors is a top 5 ball striker in the field, coming off of his first top 10 of the year. Pretty good track record here too. Again, tee to greens matters so much more on difficult courses than it does on easy courses. When everyone's hitting greens and everyone's hitting fairways, it just comes down to a putting contest, and that is not the case at Muirfield Village. Patrick Cantlay not having a good year, but the 2 events where he's played well, RBC Heritage and Genesis, and those are 2 events that he always plays well. What other event he always plays well is this one. He's won here twice. He's finished in the top 5 another 2 times. So I'm going to be playing Cantlay. I think I'm going to be betting him outright as well at 25-1. I was thinking about just betting Scheffler and putting a big bet on him. He's like plus 375 is the best number you can get on him. But I might just do like a big top 5 on Scheffler and then hope that, one of these other guys that I bet can chase him down on Sunday. JT's been playing great, just doesn't have a good track record here. Wyndham Clark's kind of struggled a bit recently. I think the last 7 events, only 1 top 30 in his last 5 events. So I don't know. He's 2 for 4 here. Don't have a strong take on Clark, although the single-digit ownership is always enticing. And if you look at his record at the signature events, it is pretty impressive. Benny On, great fit, great off the tee, great scrambler. Just comes down to the putter and the irons, but he's been playing well. And I was looking at he's always played well here. 6 top 25 finishes at this event in 8 appearances. So you got to like that. Finau, the model always likes Finau. No issue with him at 7,900. Does feel like he's a little underpriced. Lucas Glover, probably a top 8 ball striker in the field, and he's gained around the green in 10 of 13 events. The putter can get ugly at times, but yeah, sign me up for that at 7,000. Siwoo Kim, one of the best tee to green golfers in the field. So I was looking at this. He's gained off the tee in 31 of his last 32 starts. Really impressive. He's gained on approach in 12 of his last 13. And he's got 4 straight top 20s here. I think I'm going to make him a core play in DFS. Love the price point. Probably going to be betting him, maybe not outright, but maybe a top 10, top 20. I just think he sets up really well. He just needs to find a good week with the putter. Then you have Danny McCarthy, who's kind of the opposite of Siwoo Kim. He just needs to find a good week with the irons. And he nearly won here last year, lost in the playoff to Victor Hovland. Love Bezuidenhout. I always seem to like him. One of the better iron players in the field. 3 for 3 here. Just comes down to the driver. If he can just keep it in the fairway, he's going to be in really good shape. Also like Shane Lowry is kind of a contrarian play. T6 at the PGA Championship, T33 last week. Plays this event well. Loves difficult courses. Loves Jack Nicklaus designs. So I do like Shane Lowry a bit this week. Going to be off of Spieth, even though he plays well here. Ben Griffin coming off of the strong finish. The model likes him. I'm guessing he's going to get more than 3% ownership, but we will see by the end of the week. Keegan Bradley's gained. Where is it at? So yeah, just gaining a bunch of strokes off the tee and on approach. 3 straight top 25s. I don't mind him one bit. Kind of a home game for Jason Day. Lives in Ohio now. Straka's been on fire. So he's gained at least 3.8 strokes on approach in 5 of his last 6 starts. He's one of those guys that he finishes top 10 or he misses the cut. So fire him up in tournaments. Excellent option there. No strong take on Fitz. He does like this course, but he just hasn't been very good this year. Hoagie, one of the better iron players in the field. Cam Young has really struggled his last 4 starts. He needs to drive it well to play well. And he does like difficult courses, but a little worried there. I like Sam Burns as kind of a contrarian play with some upside. Very inconsistent, but I do think you can include him in large field stuff. Same with Zalatoris. If you look at his track record, he's got 3 top 10s this year. All of them have been on very difficult courses, so I do think he makes some sense. Sung Jae's playing better. Davis Thompson kind of let everyone down as the chalk last week. I think it's a good bounce back spot for him. Horschel's won this event before and is kind of coming in some good form. He won in Corrales, and he's got a couple top 25s recently. I do like Horschel. Harmon, this does feel like a Harmon course. Tom Kim's been playing better. See if there's anybody else. So Kitayama is an interesting one to me. I think he's 0 for 2. Not sure if this was a made cut or not. But he hasn't played great here. But if you look at his stats, I mean, look at these last 5 events ball striking. Plus 7.4, plus 3.6, plus 2.3, plus 5.9, plus 6.1. That's top 5 in this field. So if he just has a decent week with the short game, I think he can certainly finish top 20, maybe even top 10. We saw him win Bay Hill last year, which was a signature event. I think it was a designated event at the time. And anyone else? I mean, Rose has been playing a little bit better. Poston's been playing better. Taylor Moore coming off of his first miscut all year. Maybe he bounces back. Victor Perez has kind of been really good with the ball striking recently. So has Lee Hodges. He's gained 4.5 and 7.6 strokes on approach in his last 2 starts. Todd was the good course fit. Yeah, that should do it. So if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up on your way out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will get to them. Hop in the RG Discord. If you want to sign up for RG Premium, we'd love to have you. With that, gonna get out of here. Best of luck this week, and we will see you back here for the US Open breakdown. See you.